All right. So today I would like to interview Dre41, ask you questions. Um, Basically get into the mind of how you became who you are as you're known in the creating, and how everything. I want to go from when I first met you, even before I first met you, like when you were a little Dre walking around going, "Hi, mommy,"
A little Dre.
and like you
Okay.
like your wrestling games, little Dre, when you want and playing your wrestling games, and basically, uh, kind of see why you went the direction you went, and kind of where plan doing, and maybe there's some surprises that you might, that some of your fans might want to know. I mean, 'cause I know how they're always sending messages, putting messages in the bottom of your videos, no matter what it is, asking you, "Are you coming back? Are you making this guy? Can you make that guy?" So basically, how are you? How are you doing? What's
Okay.
going on?
So first and foremost, it is spicy as all hell. It is 4,000 degrees in Connecticut, and I'm black. So when black people sweat, we usually either get
Hey,
violent or tired. And right now, it's just hot, and I'm somewhere in the middle between tired and violent. So hopefully, we can keep this
well,
interview civilized.
always gonna be civilized, but I can't promise that I won't be poking the bear. So All
Hmm.
right. Let's go back. Let's go back to when did you start really creating? Which SmackDown game was it, or wrestling game did you start creating on?
All right. All right. So first one, shoot. Warzone for PlayStation. What was it?
God damn! Did
Yeah,
not think you go that far back.
I
Wow!
wasn't good at it.
Holy crap!
I was not good at it. I was a tad bit trash. I'm gonna be honest. But then the
Ah,
create a wrestler thing on that wasn't good either. So it was sort of like, you just got what you got. I mean,
get getting your feet wet. Getting your feet
yeah,
wet.
I mean, there was nobody real that I could make in that game that looks like the in-game models. So it was just like, just
So
make up
basically, you're
this.
making blue and green and orange people. Okay,
No,
you're
I
making those
mean,
kind
they
of
were
people.
like built crazy, and they had like stupid masks. Like I made a Vader. You was able to make Vader in the game, but then it wasn't even like a good-looking Vader. It was like a weird shaped Vader. It just wasn't good. So it was like that kind of
Warzone.
introduced me into to creating. Yeah, Warzone, man. 90 what
Wow.
7? 90,
I remember
97?
going to lunch and driving all the way to the mall to pick that thing up and coming back from lunch late just to try to get that game. But that's when it was Stone Cold, right? What you're
Yep,
talking
Stone
about?
Cold on the cover. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Goddamn.
Yeah, that's when I started.
That was like, wow. That was like, what was that? Like 90,
No,
97?
98. Because I
Yeah.
think Warzone came out. No,
98?
Attitude came out in 99. So it had to come out in 98.
Wow.
Yep.
So you weren't creating in WCW Monday Nitro or nothing, right?
Oh, you couldn't. You couldn't in Nitro. No, it
Oh,
was
you couldn't?
trash. No, you couldn't create in Nitro.
Well, but for the time, just like when we used to talk. I mean, a lot of people don't know you're what are you, 31 now? 32?
About to be
I'm
32.
40. Well, about to be 32. That's right, September. I'm 43, and those games, like my favorite game, and I even told my girlfriend I'm looking for a Super Nintendo because I want to get the Royal Rumble. Because
Ooh.
like, and back then, video games are like, that was a great game, and they were even
Mm-hmm.
supposed to come out with that WrestleMania arcade that you could play in the arcade. They were supposed to make that for Xbox. I don't know what the hell happened, but that was great with like Warrior, Jake the Snake, and it was so basic, and the time would run out. You had to put quarters in just to keep playing.
Wasn't
But
that
it's
some?
like,
Wasn't that called something else? Challenge? Or was that Royal Rumble?
no, it was Wrestle. It was no. Well, the Royal Rumble was for Super Nintendo, but they had that WrestleMania arcade in the arcades, and you could play like 6-man tag or 8-man tags, and it was kind of cool. But
Oh,
like, I mean,
okay.
I go back, so like to me, it's always waiting and waiting and waiting, and like I'll get to how like when I first met you, how I pushed you and pushed you when I was up your ass. Oh, make this guy, make that guy, and we kind of had fun. But I'm from the time when I used to have to sit and wait. You're lucky. 10 years later, you didn't have to like sit there and go, "Oh, I wish I had a good game." I mean, I remember at work, I used to sit there and tell people, or my one friend, say, "Man, wouldn't it be great if we had a wrestling game? We could do this, this, and this." Needless to say, it took 20, 30 years, but it was worth it. Okay, so when I first met you, I think it was like, what was it, like February 2010,
10?
I
No,
think.
wait a minute. Wasn't it? What was it? SVR 10.
Yeah, it was like that's when the SmackDown games came out in like what, late August, late
So it
September.
was
Everyone was
10.
like, oh,
Yeah,
please August,
probably
August.
February 2010 then.
That's when it was like Madden and wrestling. It's like I got my 2Ks, man. I need Call of Duty, dude, and I'm done. Well, it was okay. So I met this guy, Alois. He's pretty good. A lot of people might know this guy, Alois. He's got good stuff, but he's got this massive boner. I'm talking like it's bleeding and jizzing for fucking Ultimate Warrior
That's
insane.
nasty.
Like the only people he could create. But it looks like, but a lot of times it looks like his characters. Remember, you used to always tell me it looks like his characters look like toys that got lost in the fire, right?
I never said
like
that.
They were burnt on the chest.
I
Because it looked like they were
never.
burnt on the chest and the head.
No,
Come on,
because
you remember
the
saying that.
skin
He's like, why
colors
does it
were
look like
messed
they were through a
up.
fire?
No, because the skin colors
Yeah,
was
it looked like
messed
they were through a
up, and they
fire.
never put the option to pick a certain skin color. They just had the presets. So it was like if they had a tan, they looked black. And I don't know why
But
he made them look black.
But he did something. He did something. Most of his characters look like that. Well, anyway, so I met this guy and he seemed pretty cool at first, but then he started getting kind of like ego-ish. Your ego didn't kick in until like I don't know after your millionth download, but it's
Wow.
like he. No, really. This guy he was good. He was all this and this. People even accuse you of stealing his shit, but we'll get to that. Now, with that game, what made you decide? Were you always creating for yourself and making a lot of guides? And if you did, was it the same guys that you've been doing, or was it always kind of limited?
Okay.
You understand?
So getting up to the time where community creations came to be, once they said that, I said to myself, I'm going to be known for creating wrestlers because they have a community creations. I said that, and it all stems.
Was that before I met you?
Yeah, it was before. It was before because once they announced that they was going to have a system where you upload and people could download your stuff, I knew I can draw. So if I have to draw logos, tattoos, attires, I knew I can do that, and I knew that I would have to learn. But yeah, I've been creating wrestlers, like I said, ever since Warzone. So every single game that came out after Warzone, I was creating wrestlers. Attitude, WCW Mayhem,
Raw's War.
Raw's War,
Mayhem.
ECW, Anarchy Rules, Hardcore Evolution, No Mercy.
The greatest game ever, No Mercy.
Yeah, WrestleMania 2000. Yes, yep, I still have it, and it still resets itself after a while. It happens.
Really?
Yeah, because some of them, they got recalled back in the day because of that reason. But I was too young to get mine recalled, so it was just like it's just mine. I usually just went in that Royal Rumble mode, that endurance mode, and just unlocked everybody like that.
Huh.
I didn't even go through story after a while. But yeah, just continuously creating. And then I stumbled upon Cause.ws. And
Really?
we'll get into that later, but
When was that?
Cause.ws?
Yeah, 2010, or wasn't that like
That's probably 2011? No, that was probably before that. No, I was probably
before we met Ego?
Yes, because I was using that to see what other people were making. I don't even know how I stumbled upon it.
In case people don't know what we're talking about, Death by Ego, he was one of our friends who we used to play with, and we met through this really dorky kid who kind of like floated off, which was great. But what it is we met this kid. We met this guy. His name's Chris. Death by Ego. Always had fun. He was like the guy in the party that would always like make us laugh and have me and Dre turning on each other and shit. And we've been friends for like 8 years or so, almost 9 years. It's crazy. And basically, when Dre was creating these really good wrestlers, Ego decided to get into it, and he would make a decent Shane Douglas. He actually made you make better Shane Douglases because he started making them, and then he was the first one to make. He was the first one to make like the best Arn Anderson. I mean, this shit was like, I would use Ric Flair in game. He'd use his created Arn Anderson, and we would play people as if we were Flair and Anderson in 2010. And people remember that like the referee would still push you out and this, and we would do the little cheap stuff like he'd pull someone to the side, I'd choke them or this and this. They thought we were cheating. It's like we're playing within like actual wrestlers, and these people would get so pissed off at us. It was great. We and we got to thank Dre, and we have to thank Dre for that because Dre would create a lot of our guys where we would beat guys either where they were glitching or doing whatever, and we would use actual people and play how they actually wrestled in real life, and people would think we're cheating, but we were actually playing. That's how dumb a lot of people who, when it first came out, didn't quite understand that. But when you said that cause.ws, that was with Ego and Pirtle, right? 'Cause I thought Pirtle introduced that to you.
No. This was something that I stumbled upon years before that. This was where we're talking
Really?
about. Yeah, we're talking about. I want to say
08?
SmackDown versus Raw. Like when they were trading people online. That's when I kind of stumbled upon it.
Yeah, 2009 and 8. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's when I stumbled upon it, and it just got me really interested because I didn't know that there was other people who really like put a lot of effort into creating people. Like I thought it was like 1 in a million, to be completely honest, because I didn't know that there was a community of creators who was interested in doing it, or who was interested in playing wrestling games, who wanted to create people. So it was new to me.
Are they still around?
Yeah, but I haven't went on that
like
website in a minute. I mean, I don't think they create anymore. I really don't think they do. With me, it's something that No, they actually got some just the community itself. They got this guy on PlayStation called Ride D. This guy is amazing on the PlayStation side. Like he is the future. To be completely honest, we just need some more people on the Xbox side, but on the PlayStation side, it seems like everybody that was on the 360 jumped over to the PlayStation side. I kind of stayed loyal to the green team. But yeah, there's still a huge community of creators, and there's more. I mean, I follow a lot of them on Twitter. They got like a couple of hundred followers. I'll retweet their stuff. I'll like their stuff. You know, I mean, it's boosting the community because they're not going to stop making these games. So there's always going to be a need for content creators or community creators.
Well, like on Something to Wrestle With, when they say "fuck Dave Meltzer," I gotta do a shout out to What's the Status. Fuck What's the Status.
Oh no, don't do that.
This guy, no,
don't.
This guy used to steal stuff.
I don't know that.
See, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people know. Well, see, that's the whole thing. We don't know, but he did back in the day. And if you don't anymore, Status, good for you. But honestly, like Dre always did these by hand, and a lot of people always thought that you were glitching. Remember, they always thought you were cheating or using a hack. Mm-hmm. Even when they came out with it, and Eagle gave you the stuff, and he was trying to teach you. And this is the funniest thing that a lot of people don't know. Dre actually tried to do that, but Dre was so lazy to try to learn it, he did it the hard way, which is the funniest thing. He took the hardest way out. Who the fuck does that? You did that.
Yeah.
You're so fucking lazy. Instead of going in there and saving your guys from last year so that you could pop out more faster, you're like, just draw it. You redid it, and then you made it better and better and better. And that's why, like, I know Status used to do it, and he could say this and say that and everything else, but it, like, even me and Ego used to hate him in the parties because he always, like, thought he was, like, ghetto and used the N-word. Just like, yo, what's up? No. And we were just like, you know, and when you don't like somebody, you don't like somebody, but... And I know some of his stuff's kind of good, but I don't trust it. It's like a lot of guys today, I see stuff, and there's no way they do that by hand like you. And then when I'm playing it, when we play online, it doesn't work right or something happens, and then that's how I know that they're using their computer. So, like, that's why I'm doing this interview with you, because you still do this stuff in-game. You're old school, so old school. You're literally like the Vince McMahon. You still do the old stuff the old way. And you make them so amazing. A lot of people don't. I don't know if they really know that. Anything you see of Dre's isn't the computer. He was too lazy to do that, so he did the hard way. I don't know why, but he does. All his stuff is drawn and this and that, and it's insane. And you got to give props to someone like that. And I mean, the whole creative, give creators a chance, this and that. It's an interesting concept. But like with you, I don't know if people really know. You still do it the hard way, and that's what makes you way different than other people, because I see a lot of characters out there where they're the same characters, and remember how people used to take characters and they slightly tweak them a little,
and then re-up them, and then
75.
Yeah.
I used to fight with Jam 75 because he would literally be. I mean, what's that word? Oh, he was extra regular. I mean, oh my God. Maybe he's gotten better by now.
But he liked to make old school wrestlers, though. So I mean, it was a niche that he took for himself.
he tried to make it like his Texas Tornado was better than mine because he drew a tornado on the butt. But like mine, like me, remember we did that shit. He went from looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger to Kerry Von Erich to where Pause.ws actually took my formula and put it up. So that's my claim to fame. I had that in, what was it, 2012? It was good. Me and you were on there for hours, and I kept showing you pictures. We were texting each other back and forth. But anyway, so going back to 2010. All right. Now, when I met you, and you had your modded Xbox, and your modded Xbox kept getting banned.
No, hold on. I got banned, I think, one time. The console got banned, and then I just bought another Xbox 360 and just did it again. And then that one never got banned. But I think it was because I got the game early. I remember I used to get games on the Friday before they came out. It's funny.
I love that.
Because I used to work at JCPenney Warehouse part-time. And when I was doing that, I met this dude. I forgot what his name was. I think like John or Tom or something like that. Weird, cool guy.
Shout out to a John or a Tom.
Yeah, he had a really basic name.
Shout out.
And subscribe to his channel. So, he was like, "Oh yeah, you play video games and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, you can get games for me?" He was like, "Yeah, just write down." Or no, text it to me.
Those are the modded ones, right?
Yeah, the modded ones. He would say, text them to me, and I'll get you them a couple of days before they come out. Cool, no problem. So I used to get the wrestling games before they came. Any game, whatever I wanted before it came out. Yeah. But I remember when I was playing one of the wrestling games, one of the WWE games, and I was getting so many messages. "Oh my God, you got the game. How you get the game early? Oh my goodness,
I used to get it too.
Yeah.
Remember I used to get games ahead of time? Yeah, that was so funny. Kids would be like, join our party like, "Oh my God, what's that? And sometimes we would actually get the games just so we could hear people like just cry like, what's going on?" And all of a sudden our friends list starts growing. We're like, who are you? 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 And we like never talk to them again. Yeah. I remember when WrestleMania came out, the Legends of WrestleMania. I got that shit on a Friday, even before you got it. And you go, "How is it?" Like, "Oh, it's kind of fun." And I beat it on a Saturday, traded it on Sunday. Oh no, I couldn't trade it on Sunday because they weren't taking trades for it yet. And I was like, "Yeah," I beat it like one day, and I'm like, "Yeah, this game's." That was actually now. See, that's one thing I wish they would do. Do that. Do like with the Legends of WrestleMania. Make a wrestling game once every 5 years, and just make it so you can keep adding the new guys in, have downloadable content. Because if you could just add everything and have that one amazing game that would last you, kind of like DC Universe Online. This game's been out. It's been on Xbox for the last 2-3 years, and dude, they've added so much. It's insane. But it's one game. Not having to buy the same game over and over and over. You just kind of buy what you want as you're going. To me, I feel, and me and you've discussed this a lot, and you said, well, they'll never do that, blah, blah, blah. But they actually start updating the attires. They start tweaking your game on, for you to make it current. But I don't know. I still feel like that would have been great. Remember, you used to be able to take like Randy Orton and all the current people and put them into the old Legends, and you could fight against the Legends. Remember that?
Yeah.
See that? I don't know.
But then they had to start difference, though. They had to start difference between the in-game models, because the game was made for it to be like an old arcadey look, but then they had the wrestlers look normal that you import. And then you couldn't even import the whole roster. Like, that didn't even make any sense to me. Like, it's like basically the people they released,
but it was a step in the right direction.
Yes and no, because it was just lack of modes. Even though it was supposed to be old school generation, they could have just added more to it. But I got another thing that I was actually thinking about with the new game, but I don't want to get into that because I know we're doing an interview. But teachers on.
We can get to that towards the end. We could get to that. Okay, so I meet you. Give people an idea of like what I was like. Your impressions of me when you first met me.
Okay.
Now, be honest.
All right. So when I first started creating wrestlers and uploading them, I had a friends list, but I didn't really speak to anybody online. It wasn't being antisocial. It was just like, okay, I'm creating. So when I'm creating, I'm quiet. I keep to myself. I make sure I'm focused on what I'm making. Whatever. So it was just a lot of times I'm just focused on what I'm making. But I would get messages and this, that. And if somebody invites me to a party, I would join. So you hit me up. I forgot exactly what it was, but I think you wanted to talk to me about one of the wrestlers I created. So I'm like, all right, let me just see what he says. And then it was just like I didn't feel any like negative energy or anything like that. It was just all right. Like he has input as opposed to somebody saying, "Oh my god, I'm a fan of yours. It's perfect. Oh my goodness, you're great." Like it's cool to hear that sometimes, but sometimes you want to hear somebody who has something to say, conversation wise, give you input, give you ideas, not just say you're perfect, because if you're perfect, you'll never change, you'll never evolve, you'll stay the same, as opposed if somebody has input, suggestions, questions about how you do something or why you did it this way, maybe you should try it that way. Like, you brought something to the table conversation wise, so that was appreciated and at times challenged me. Make this
You remember our
person
first
try
tag
to.
team?
La Resistance? Was it?
Yeah, man. We
Yeah.
had some fun. Yeah.
That's when the
Because
servers could
Death
work.
by Ego was so good. Yeah, and Death by Ego was so good at this that his partner, which was the guy he was friends with that introduced us to him, was like so bad. So like we would go in and I'd be like beating the crap. Dre would be beating the crap out of his friend. I'm holding Ego outside the ring doing stuff, and then we go in and beat up his friend. We're trying to pin him. Ego come in, and it was basically like beating up a kid whose friend is actually a good fighter, and two bullies are beating up on the little kid. Yeah, we were bullies, and we were beating up on him, and he goes trying to help, and he was really good. He was kind of taking us on, but we were it was good times. But like that's one reason I remember, like, because you can make guys so fast, and
Mm-hmm.
I liked when you made those type of guys because we would use them, and man, and if anybody knows Death by Ego, all one word. Killerfrost for most of the time was me, and Dre 41. We used to stay up late nights. I'm talking. We were on for like 4 or 5 years, no lie, every single night
Mm-hmm.
from like 5, 6 o'clock until no lie until like 1, 2 o'clock, and it was like we would play the shit out of the game, and 2K would get better and better. Not 2K. Uh,
THQ.
THQ would get better and better. Yeah. And then in their last game, they actually perfected the 360 version. And 2K, the problem I have with 2K is they're all worried about the look. And you can't play online because it still lags. Like, how does it lag? It's one-on-one. It shouldn't lag.
Mm-hmm.
2K made it better, and even the game controls were better. They were simple. They didn't like sweat anymore. They didn't breathe. They didn't hold the rope and go. Nobody cares about that. People want a fun game that can play. Okay, so now when I did that with you, and we were creating those characters. I know you used to have talks with Ego when I wasn't around. What did you guys used to discuss as far as creating that kind of also got your juices flowing? Because I know I used to push you and say, dude, you should make more guys because you could pop them out. And people were making Edge, the rated R superstar, and they
Mm-hmm.
were making it, but the problem was is they were using hacks,
Yeah, textured
and their
faces,
characters
logos, and sometimes they wouldn't
and you
work at
couldn't
all.
download it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, but yours always did.
Because I
Now,
used the regular paint tool that was in the game. I never. Yeah, I mean, basically just running off of what you were saying. I was literally too lazy to really find out how to use like textures, modded textures to import into the game. I was
you didn't
just
need
like,
to.
it'd be easier for me just to draw it. I'm just gonna draw it. I'm not even gonna try. But with me and Ego, I mean, we talked about wrestling other than WWE. He sent me gigs, gigabytes of reference pictures for wrestlers, files upon files. We spoke about that. We spoke about just stuff going around, like just regular life stuff. I mean, just basically what we spoke about when we were all around each other. We had a couple of
Okay,
matches.
now I want to stroke your ego for a second. I had to check to see if it's still there, and I can't believe it's still there. And
Really?
people could do this. Google Dre 41 is God. Dre
Oh
41 is God.
goodness! Don't do
WWE
that.
SmackDown vs. Raw
Don't do that.
2011 Game
Don't do that.
Facts. Dude, is this still up? That's crazy, dude. Cause like, remember when you were told that you were like, nah,
Yeah,
and then
I
all of a
didn't
sudden you
believe
look,
it.
you're like, Dre 41 is, oh dude, your ego is so high then. Oh man, like wow, that's still there for Raw. So
That
anybody
that
could
was
Google Dre 41 is God,
that was a little bit
and it
bugged out.
actually But if I Google Dre 41, it automatically pops up 2K16, da 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 da. So like you're well known for this stuff. So even back as far as 2011, which I think 2011 is when we had some awesome matches.
Hmm.
Remember, who created Midian? Was it you who created Midian? Or
I
was that Ego?
helped. No, I helped. God, what was his name? Dude from
It
England.
wasn't Midian. Was it
It was Midian.
Man
It
on
was
a
Midian.
Mission? Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Midian. I helped. God, what was his name?
Mabel, the
Tyrant.
third man, by the way.
Tyrant. Tyrant. Tyrant.
Tyrant
Yep.
185.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I helped
Another
him.
guy, British guy. He was good.
Yeah, he was definitely good. But then, I don't know. He felt some type of way about something because I think he was making the rockers, and I decided to make the rockers too. Now, whenever I
No, no, no,
make,
no, 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 no. You didn't decide to. I forced you. I forced you. I was like, dude, come on, make the rockers. It'd be so sweet. Because remember, I made my own my own version of the rockers, and it was like all in game. Yeah, Tyrant 185. I'm actually looking at his profile right now. I hadn't, dude. Like we used to play because he's from England, and he's obviously 6 hours difference.
Mhm.
And the last game it says that he played on here because he went to acting school. Maybe he did. And Tyrant, if you're listening to this by any chance, hit me up, man. I'm still on your friends list. Killerfrost, J41. Let us know, dude. Let us know how you doing. The last game he played is WWE 2K14,
Wow.
and this guy was good, dude. This guy was good. I mean, like, he didn't like taking offers from people, but you talk nice to the guy, and he had to talk real low because their flats were so close together and stuff. And man, like, oh wow, that brought back a name. Holy crap!
Yeah.
But I remember when you were making it. I remember the first time you were making stuff. I know I'm kind of bouncing around just a little bit, but giving people a basic idea. There was a guy. Do you remember his name? This one Spanish dude. Yeah, yes. And man, he threw digs at you like crazy. I wish I had the messages where he said he
Uh,
could do things better than you. Explain to people how this happened, and me being the antagonist in the middle. He would send me messages, and I would tell you. Do you remember this?
oh.
He said he was better than you.
Oh God, the Baron. The Baron.
That Baron.
Yeah, he
That
was.
Baron.
He was a cunt. I mean, a 100% unadulterated cunt, and he would create wrestlers and give them moves that they never did. I remember he
Oh
created Road
yeah.
Dogg Jesse James, and his finisher was the Michinoku Driver. And I was like, when the hell did Road Dogg ever do a Michinoku Driver as a finisher? I mean, don't
Maybe
get
when
me
he was
wrong.
high. And when, like, he was
Maybe,
not wrestling, he was sleeping.
but yeah, me and him didn't really like. My thing with him is it's like I don't know. I think they had
Goddamn.
there was a elitism with Cause at WS when I joined. Mainly because what happened is years before I actually joined, I just used the Cause at WS as reference because they used to help each other by putting up reference pics. So I used to download the reference pics so I can use them to create people. Then I remember
Yeah.
when THQ used to do a showcase on wrestlers for their first community showcase, and they showcased a Hulk Hogan that I made and an Eddie Guerrero.
Oh
And people
yeah. Oh
didn't
my
know who I
god.
was. People didn't know who I was, so they automatically said, yo, he's not a part of our community. Who is this idiot who thinks he can sit there and do this? Now, mind you, I didn't know
Hacker.
the quote unquote
Cheater.
hierarchy of Cause.ws before I joined it. So I joined it, and automatically there was hate. There was so much
Oh yeah.
hate towards me
And that was
because
the first year,
yep,
2010.
that was the very first year.
Oh my
People
god.
on that website hated me. They hated me so much. And I think Baron was one of them. Dr. Vries was one of them.
Status was one of them.
No, who's the other kid?
Yeah, he won't admit it.
Dynamite. Dynamite hated me.
Oh, remember we played him in wrestling, and he had
Yeah.
a Landstorm doing moves Landstorm never did before.
Yep.
He would
And
have hack moves, and he would try to get away with a hack move, and me and Ego would still kick his ass and beat him down, and he started crying, and he'd leave. That shit was hilarious.
yeah, so yeah, it was just
But
a
go
group
ahead.
of them that really didn't like me. But Baron, oh man. And I remember, yeah, it was that party where it was like, let's do that challenge. I'll make Godfather, I'll make Ultimate Warrior, who else? What else did I said I would make?
Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimo Dragon. Yep, and I made all
Now,
three
mind
of
you,
them.
people. Now, mind you, people. Godfather alone took more work, and it was harder for Drake than because you did Kama Mustafa and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Was because you had to do the tattoos,
Yep.
the intricacy of the little tattoos, and this shit was so detailed that man, people got so mad. And then when he put his warrior out, he did an attire with a singlet, and like I said before, Alois, who like basically said he met Sting, made him a mold mask. I guess he's a real semi-artist, but you know, Dre made this Ultimate Warrior. People were hating on you because your Ultimate Warrior got the most downloads, and you're like, I don't want to make Warrior. Warrior sucks. I don't like him. And I pushed you. Now, see, that's that. I don't want to take the credit for it, but I just want people to know that I used to bust your balls like I was your dad, like, motherfucker, you do this, you're not gonna eat dinner. And I used to do this stuff, and dude, you made amazing shit. Your warrior was the first character you made because you always made AJ Styles. He was like AJ Styles was like your trophy. You made him every year. You
Mm-hmm.
did great with him every year. People loved it because you put the fucking him with his hands up on his jacket. The shit was sick. I mean, I would rather watch the entrance than play with him because it looked sick. Um, no, seriously. But when it came to like Ultimate Warrior, you did so good. I remember there was that huge uproar where everybody then was saying,
I was
Dre's
using,
cheating.
yeah, I
He's a
used
cheater.
textures.
You stole Alois, and you stole Alois' shit. I was like, he drew this by hand. And mind you, people, this conversation took place late Wednesday night. Thursday morning, I think it was like you were actually done before the deadline.
Yeah.
He had till Friday, and he still couldn't get his shit done. Dre created. Now, when Dre creates, guys, there's something a lot of people didn't do. Dre would do 4 characters. He would give you. I mean, if he was charging, he'd be rich right now. He'd have a Maserati and all that shit. He would give you 4 quality wrestlers, like 4 quality attires, even from different eras of the same guy. And he did 4 warriors, and the one with the singlet was awesome. And everybody, even Ego, said, I don't like using warrior because I remember Ego downloaded Renegade just so that we, like, when I use warrior, he could use Renegade, and we could just kind of be like a retarded tag team. But right, but you made like it was insane. But getting back to Godfather, dude, the tattoos, that was your first one. Because then I remember you did like Perry Saturn and man, and then me and you and me and Ego would be eliminators all night long, and people who hacked, we would just eliminate them, eliminator style. And the fact that what you did, and I don't know if you understand, if you really realize this, but I used to watch ECW, but I didn't really watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch it, but not really pay attention. But when you started creating these guys, I really started watching it. Really started like paying attention and learning more and this and that. I just watched it because I liked wrestling. But then I became a real fan of ECW because you created these guys, and it made me want to use them. Then it made me want to research them, and I had to thank you for that because like you made the game fun. There were so many people out there who would make their own wrestlers. That's the only thing that I hate about these games is that everybody treats it like it's Street Fighter. They don't treat it like it's an actual wrestling match. They make their own guys, and I coined the phrase, yes, it's mine, and I hold a trademark on it. Them and their Sharpie tattoos. They were so god-awful. You would blend your tattoos, and you even taught me how to do it. So when I made my own guys, I figured out how to blend it. And these people make Sharpie tattoos. If you ever see these groups and you see on Xbox and all these guys have their things, why does every wrestler have to have fucking tattoos? I mean, seriously, that's just irritating. But like, we would play. You made it fun because we used regular wrestlers. I remember, I think it was 2012, late 2011, that the servers were so bad we couldn't even use those. We had to use regular wrestlers because the servers were so flooded. And then they figured out that let's delete them after a while. If there's ones that aren't being downloaded or used, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They would start deleting characters. If
And
they
that was
weren't
a good
downloaded,
thing.
they say okay. And then but we would use it against people. We would play people. Even I had friends. I weeded out a lot of friends with your wrestlers. Me and Ego would play. Because I remember it used to be on booty calls. Okay, and everybody needs to know.
All right,
We'd be
hey.
at parties, 7 o'clock at
Oh
night.
my
They would get phone
goodness.
calls. And while me and Ego were playing, we're hearing, "How you doing tonight? What you doing? Where you going? Oh my God!" Blah, blah, blah. We're like, "Dre, can you please turn her off?" And Dre's just in the background going, and we're having to listen to these conversations. And then Dre would like, and then we were playing a group, Smiley, Mr. Smiley, what a jack off. him and we were friends with one of his friends, Magic Muffin Man. So Magic, if you're listening to this, what's up, dude? Come back to Xbox. We miss you. Um, and what we did was like he hated this group, so he was on that group with them, and Mr. Smiley thought he was so great. 'Cause remember, he thought his Mike Awesome was better than Ego's, and it was Mike so not awesome. And do you remember who we used?
I remember y'all was the Wolf Pack, and I was Conan. I couldn't remember if he was Kevin Nash or and Scott Hall.
I was Kevin Nash. Ego was Scott Hall, and we were, and your Kevin Nash was sick, dude. I mean, your Wolfpack was like that's what made it so much fun. I got to use those, and a lot of people didn't like using super heavyweights because they didn't move as well. But it made it look so good that it made it so much more fun, and we would play just like it. And then meanwhile, we're like, Dre, where are you? Dre, God damn it, Dre, where are you? And all you see is Conan like doing run-ins, flipping around the ring, flipping over the rope, doing this and this. And me and Eagle are in freaking tears, laughing our asses off because because we were playing like Hall and Nash, and you were playing like Conan, but you weren't answering us. And occasionally we hear a girl going, and like you're bouncing around the ring and shit, like doing run-ins, and we're in tears. We're like, and then we decided, we're not even gonna try to beat them. And we actually played them till they all quit. And his friend was in the party. He's like, just quit, everybody, quit, leave. And they all left because they were so not awesome. And a lot of people would download your stuff and use it offline. But it would be really cool if people started using it online, to where you have people who play matches that play them fair, that play them normal, that don't need hack moves, that don't just hold you there or kick you. Because I don't know if you've ever played 08 and 09 online, but like people would just, even in player matches, like they had to win. There was a group, I forget the name, something Mafia, Mafia,
and ZBX something nonsense.
Yeah, they all try to like tear down the servers because they ruined our game, and it's like, dude, you suck. You're like a fart in the wind. No one's gonna remember you or even talk about you, and no one has. I mean, I haven't in years. And they would always cheat and find hacks, and that would ruin the game. But then we always knew. Remember the little glitch where you pick them up and you could do like either drop them down like a super power like a super body press like Ultimate Warrior. Or they used to have the moves where you could do 3 moves into one type of grapple.
The freestyle moves.
And then remember what we used to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember people used to hack us and stuff, and then it would become a contest then between me and Dre, or me and Ego, or me, Ego, and Dre, to see who could freeze the consoles first. But then you kind of backed out because you're like, I don't want to break my console. And we would just do snake eyes in the corner, and it would freeze all the consoles, and then we'd leave, and we'd come back later and see that they're still in game, and they haven't figured out that we froze their shit, because you can freeze everybody's. So these guys are hacking us, and then, and then remember the battery? Remember you created Duracell Man for me? People never understood. Why does your character Duracell? Oh, I don't know. Battery motherfucker. I used to just like, and I never got pinned. Remember we had matches for like hours?
Oh my goodness.
People?
Right.
You're like, just leave. I go, shut up and keep creating. And we would just stay there. We were like, fuck you.
Oh my
but we play fair. We didn't create the stuff. We didn't download the stuff until later. They had that one Miz one where he waves his hand and then he frees everybody. And then they had like and no one could figure it out. Steal a finisher, steal a move, until they made it to where you could create a special. Then they realized, dude, we fucked this game up. And the next year they took it out. But when you could steal a finisher, we would steal people's finishers, and we would use their own finisher, like that 10 kick, the bang, and they'd freeze them. And they go, hey, why are you cheating? Dude, that's your finisher. Here's my finisher. We do taunts, get a finisher.
Yep,
boom,
we
that's
used to.
finisher.
Yep, every time we go online, we would have
every
move
wrestler would have
theft.
steal a finisher.
Yep, we would have that on there, and then just use their finisher. I remember I did that to a guy who was using Mario. Somebody created Mario.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I stole their finisher, and they got pissed with me, and I was like, that was your finisher that I did to you. You froze this, not me. I didn't. But why would I put?
People would create army men, green army men, like the toys, and they would do that. We would freeze him. He goes, unfreeze me. I go, okay, boom, we unfroze you. Well, we just stole your finisher again. What? And people never they can never grasp. They never grasp that concept. But I think only one group of people figured out, like one team figured out what me and Ego were doing. Because now you remember this, right? Do you remember what Ego did? I'm not gonna say who. I want to see if you remember. Do you remember we were playing a 6-man tag match, and Ego used a regular in-game wrestler, and the game was so screwed up from people ruining it? Do you remember what he did? in that match.
Oh man, did he
He
throw
was
him
on
in
the
the
outside
corner?
ropes. He wasn't even.
Oh, the
No, he
corner
wasn't
move
even a
where he,
single man. Oh,
oh, I can't remember.
remember he was Mark Henry. Do you remember what he did?
Oh my goodness. Oh, Mark Henry. Well, that freestyle. Not it wasn't called a freestyle move.
No, no,
Total control. Well, he was
no.
outside the ring. He
He
used
was
to
on the
pull
outside of the
down the
ring.
ropes.
No, no, no. He was on the apron.
Pull down the
No, no, no. He was
ropes.
on the. Oh, we did that all the time. People hated that. No, no, no. With the eliminators, we did that shit all the time, dude. It was crazy. Um, no. He did something. He was standing on the ropes waiting for a tag. He was just. No. Do you remember what happened? That's how broken the game was. 2012.
I don't remember. I
Or
can't
no, it was
remember
in
fully.
2011. It was 2011. He was Mark Henry, and he taunted at the guy. The referee kicked the guy out of the match. You remember that? He did a taunt, and he goes, "Oh my God, Mark Henry's the strongest guy in the game." He's on the outside, taunts him, and he gets him kicked out. You remember that shit?
That
You
sounds
remember
like
that?
something I remember. Yeah, that game was kind of buggy online. Online, it was a free
And
for
you remember
all,
how we used to?
man.
And people would always. Your favorite phrase was always, "Oh, everything just broke down. This match broke down. Oh, come on!" And then you hated it until we discovered something amazing about that game. And I mean,
The
the corner
referee will
glitch,
choke you.
the snake. Yeah, if we hold them there to the count of 5, and then we turn them upside down, and then the referee would walk over to the turnbuckle and start choking him with it, and we'd be in tears, like, "Ah." I mean, dude, I don't know how many strokes I had just laughing my ass off, dude. I was like, I thought I was at a funeral. I was crying so much, and like, the referee would choke him and then go 9, 10, and we'd get him kicked out. And they go, "You're cheating." You go, "Dude, it's in game. It's broken. It's not worth
Right.
cheating. We got you into that situation. Stay outside the ring." And then the one time when, like, as a grown man, I have to admit, I felt like I was gonna piss myself. I was laughing so hard. Ego was using, was it Ego? Was using Midian, but he was using him as Mabel, and
Okay.
everything broke down outside the ring because we always turned off DQ because and ring out count because it kind of that was like a cheap way to win. People would hold you, and hold you, then let you go instead of getting the ring fast enough. And do you remember? Like, Eagle went to do something to somebody, and somehow Midian was piggyback riding him like a horsey. And then you remember he was flying all the way around the ring, and Mabel was on top of this character going, wee, wee. He was like riding him really fast all the way around the ring, and we're laughing so hard, we're crying, we're, oh God, oh. And we're like, oh. And it was the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, these games did bring a lot of fun, even though people kind of ruined it. They brought a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
okay, going back to the creative stuff. Now, Baron obviously lost that bet. His Ultimo Dragon was ultimately bad. I don't even think he made Warrior. I don't think he even made anybody else. Because I know you guys were supposed to make Warriors.
Well, he gave up.
Dragon.
He gave up.
He,
I was like, I'm
he used
gonna
in-game
follow through.
logos.
Yeah, he used in-game logos with Ultimate Warrior because what I did was I downloaded his stuff. I downloaded it because I was like, okay, I'm gonna see exactly what he did. And he used in-game logos, and I was like, oh, you lazy prick! How you talking all this nonsense, but you were using in-game logo man to sit there and go up against a fully
In-game
paint
logo,
tool.
man.
Yeah, like you can't sit there and go up against a fully paint tool call with in-game logo man. You can't do that. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. And I used to like, and it was so funny because when he did that, I was just like, okay, well, you can't say nothing anymore. You lost. Feel how you want to feel about me. Oh, not even just him, because Baron was a hater. Baron was a hater.
Oh my
But
God.
the worst one was Nick Breaker. Nick Breaker was such a hater.
Nick Breaker, yeah.
Yeah, he hated on me because he was with NCO.
He did have good.
He was with NCO, and I couldn't stand them. And that was just ridiculous because it was like, dog, we're not even on the same. I don't think. No, we were on the same console, and for years, for the better 4 years, only me, and I'm gonna say it was only me because I was the only person who did it. At the beginning of the year, I used to make everybody. WCW, WWF, ND, whoever. But in December was always ECW month. Every year, people knew that ECW month was December. So
November.
so in October, November, Dre was going to make all these different wrestlers, and then in the month of December, he's going to make strictly ECW guys. And I remember it was me and Keith Majors, because Keith Majors helped me do that, because he did the movesets for me, because that was the only time I wasn't able to do the movesets myself, because I had to bang
Is that
out
the guy that goes to the wrestling events?
Yes.
Takes pictures of himself?
Yep.
Yeah,
No, that's not him. No, not him.
Okay.
But
Keith Majors. Oh, okay.
the dude, he was from Canada, and he watched a lot of ECW. But he used to help me with the movesets, and I was so appreciative of that. And actually, he's doing his own ECW rosters now, but he's actually doing people that I never made. Like, I made Easy Money before, but he's making everybody. And I remember
Dude,
on the 360,
you made Simon Diamond. You made everybody.
Yeah, I made the top guys, but I made about 50.
No, you made a lot of obscure guys too.
Yeah, I did.
About favorite.
Well, because it was just the logos. I after a while, I just knew how to make them. But I created a lot of people in ECW, and Nick Breaker always made the WWE ECW. Like Marcus Corvon, who honestly wanted the alpha male. Come on.
I did.
Come on. Like he'll make the alpha male.
Well, honestly, he would have made something in his career, but his sister got ill, and he had to go help take care of her kids, and that was pretty much the end of his career because he stopped wrestling, and he did what I did. I took care of my mom. He took care of his sister and family. I mean, you got to give props to a guy that gives up his career. I mean, he was a fitness instructor even before that.
But
he was one of those.
When it boils down to call creating, you making people, and it was like he always thought he was better, and it was like, okay, well, and I'll be 100% honest. When I first started creating wrestlers, faces weren't my strong point. I can be honest about that. But the one thing that I did do was I made sure the movesets were right. I made sure the attires was on point, and I made sure the entrances was on point. So at least, from afar, it looked good. His thing was, I'm going to make Jerry Lynn, but I'm going to make Jerry Lynn his old version from when he was in TNA and washed, and I'm going to give him an overall of 90-something. Why in the hell, when was Jerry Lynn overall a 90? Even when he was ECW champ, it wasn't a 90. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and but I heard podcasts with Cornette lately, and he said the same thing too. Him and Jericho used to have really good matches. No, RVD, and he said that I think it was him or was it Bruce Pritchard? One of them said that Jerry Lynn was one of the most underrated wrestlers.
Yeah, he was
so smooth to work with. He never got a fair shake. So maybe this kid did see something and kind of felt bad because you ever always wanted you to make Kid Cash, and then you finally made him and it was awesome.
Yeah, I just couldn't make the WWE version because I couldn't find any good reference pics with all his tattoos. Yeah, but the ECW one, and I was able to find good pictures for those.
You remember the first wrestler that said he liked your work, right?
Oh, the first wrestler who liked my work?
First wrestler, yeah.
RVD?
Tyson Kidd, remember?
Oh, no, Tyson Kidd, yeah.
Tyson Kidd,
yeah.
Yeah, I sent him. I said, you got any ref picks? He gives me a pick, and then I sent it, but it turns out he plays PlayStation. So if anybody can find out, Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson, he plays PlayStation. He plays wrestling. So if you're a creator on there, dude, create him, make some old school stuff, dude. He will talk to you. You can shoot him some pictures on Twitter. He's a pretty cool guy. And now that he's not wrestling right now, he's got a lot of time on his hands. I mean, he is an agent. But I remember sending those pictures, and you made that Tyson Kidd, which was fun. And that's one thing I gotta admit. I did kind of abuse you without saying anything. I'd be like this. I remember I used to find wrestlers and go, dude, this guy's so good. You go, let me see. That guy's trash, man. I'll make a better one. And you fucking make a better one. And in the back of my mind, I'm giggling like a little girl. I'm like, hey, this is so easy. All I gotta do is get a wrestler who kind of looks good. And then show Dre, they're like, fuck that, I'll make it better. And I always got like the best versions. And I was like, you were like my daddy buying me toys. Daddy, I got this. I could put a better one than that. And I was like, yeah. Like even Ryback, when you made the War Machine, that was cool. You made a Ryback, you were the first dude, like, and we're sitting there talking about relationships and this, and you're like, all right, I'm done, check this out. I'm like, wait, what? And then you have like, instead of Iron Man, RVD, you had like War Machine. You would be Iron Man, you'd be RVD, I'd be Ryback, and we'd be like playing, and that was fun. You should make a Ryback, even though he's not in there anymore. That would be someone pretty good. You
Yeah,
know what I
I
mean?
mean, I could
Make like the
definitely do
war.
that.
You should you should make a War Machine one, kind of like we did the other one, because you could still probably remember what you did and how you did it.
I still
Kind
got
of made by some
pictures.
old guys. Really?
Yeah, I still have the pictures. I keep a lot
I
of the
sent it to him
pictures
on
of the
Twitter. He
stuff.
never responded.
Nah, he would.
He never responded.
He's a con.
Douche. Yeah. But he's got a successful podcast, which is really weird. But anyway,
He's,
okay. So why is it that? My question is why is it that you always made the same wrestlers for so many years? What was the thinking behind that? I know you always said that you wanted it for yourself, but couldn't
mm,
you always just go back to the best game 2011, and then it got really good 2015 when they lost the license. That was like their last good one.
mm.
For 360, and then 2K just kind of took over and just put their product out and didn't do any work, which is one of the better ones. Um, what was? Why did you always do that? I never understood that. Why didn't you like make like classic wrestlers? Like I don't know, like I don't
It
know.
was
Did you
too
ever make a
easy.
Mortis?
No, never made a Mortis, and I made a Glacier, which is odd. But
Oh yeah,
the reason why I didn't do a lot of old school guys,
he
let's
was the
say
first guy that said he
currently,
liked your stuff. That's what it was. He was the first guy that said he liked it. That's right.
who
To
Tyson
you,
Kidd?
remember? No, Tyson Kidd said that to me on Twitter. He's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," you know.
Oh,
He
RVD.
sent a ref pic.
Yeah,
Was it RVD or was it Glacier?
RVD was the first one because RVD follows me on
Okay.
Twitter. So RVD was the first one. Then it was Glacier. No, okay, I can't say in order, but I do know the first. Then we got
Samoa
who
Joe.
else? I don't know if Samoa Joe did. I know
I thought he did.
Xavier Woods liked my call of him that I did years ago. Shoot. Who else? Oh, Conan, Taz.
Oh,
Shoot. Who else? Oh, KO, Kyle O'Reilly.
who hated
Not
yours?
KO, not Kyle O'Reilly. Sabu. Sabu didn't like it. Another
Sabu
guy,
didn't like
Wild
your work.
Horse. No, he didn't. Oh,
What did he
Shelton
say?
Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin liked it. Kenny King, he liked it. Sabu just was like, that's not him. And I'm like,
'Cause
dog,
he's actually
I
cool on Twitter. He's actually cool.
don't know, but on Twitter he wasn't messing with me. Um, Shelton Benjamin was giving me tips on how to make his face, and so that was cool. He liked it.
Really?
Yeah, this was what 2 years ago.
Slow the truck down. Like, what did he say? What was like?
This was when Shelton Benjamin was first being promoted, coming back to WWE, and then he had that shoulder injury, and I was creating him with his indie attire, and he was like, "Okay, well, you got to work on the nose. I don't frown like that." I was like, "Okay," so I started, updating it, and no, I did. I mean, listen, if the person who I'm
That's
making
funny.
has something to say, I'm gonna run with it. Because if they appreciate it, by all means, you know what I'm saying.
Cool.
Who else?
Did not know that. You never told me, man.
No, it was on Twitter. Oh, also Tito Ortiz.
Dude, I don't.
He liked my stuff,
Tito,
but I felt like he was going to sue.
paid.
Yeah, I felt like he wanted to sue. I'm
He
like,
didn't
listen,
like your stuff.
I ain't got no money. Yeah, he was like, "How you get that punishment logo?" Oh, and then I remember Chris. He was like, "Oh no, we just took it from online." I'm like, "Yo, don't say that. Do not say you took it from online. Say we just drew it and that's it." Like, oh my, because I remember we
You
were
were
doing it.
legitimately scared. That
No,
shit was
for
funny.
real. Because that dude he could probably be an ass. Like, even though we were
He's
fans of
banging Janet
MMA.
Jameson. He wants to get paid.
Yeah, like, but no, I was telling him, like, yo, do not sit there and say that you ripped those, like, because that's what he did. Like,
Yeah, he ripped it.
he ripped
Which is
those
what we talked
images.
about. People do that.
Mm-hmm.
People did that instead of actually doing it, and you've always done it.
Yeah, that's why I was so
can't
worried.
emphasize enough.
Yep, that's why I was always so worried when it was like, when that situation happened, I'm like, yo, he could shut all this down. Like, I am not trying to have that happen, because that's what happened with EA. EA made it to where you can't upload people's faces because they were getting copyright claims. Because people was like, yo, my likeness is in the game. I don't want it in the game. They don't have my permission. Even though you'll have the ability just to upload it, they took it out, so you couldn't upload or have somebody look like somebody in the game for EA, and that's what I don't
But
want.
what's stupid? If you create somebody though, that's what's stupid is. It's free promotion. Like how they used to always
People want to
black
get
out like
paid. They don't
Pepsi.
want free promotion. Pay
Uh,
me.
yeah. Well, but see, that's the whole thing. See, you're doing a lot of these guys favors. Like, I'm sorry, people love McFoley. I think he's just a better version of Tommy Dreamer. They're just all they are is hardcore tackle dummies. That's all they are, glorified tackle dummies. Um, he's better. I guess Tommy Dreamer is better as far as like, because Tommy Dreamer could do matches and stuff. They never used him because it's like he's so old school. He's so old school. Like he's like one of the last ones that even McFoley that like they didn't really as much as they tried hard and they were more successful with McFoley than they were with Tommy Dreamer. And they just didn't get it. Tommy Dreamer should have had a better career because when he went to TNA, he did some pretty cool stuff. But I just feel like when you make these characters, I think Bubba even said he liked it, right? Bubba, when you did the Dudleys, I think Bubba even told me he
Yeah,
liked the work you did.
I think he liked it. Yep. I forget all the wrestlers
Yeah,
who liked my
and you're
stuff, but it
basically
was
you're basically wrestlers that don't wrestle and that aren't really wrestling or on the indies or like I wanted you to make like Bruce Beefcake and this and that and we'll talk more about that later. But like these characters are like if you think about it, they're wrestling on the indies. They did an interview with Demolition about being in the Hall of Fame and they said they want to do it, but they want to get $100,000 each because apparently they pay people to go in the Hall of Fame. I didn't know that.
hmm
And on top of giving them a Legends contract, and he goes, and we'll give it. He goes, we'll drop our lawsuit, put us in the Hall of Fame, and he goes, give us 100,000 each, and we will donate it to charity. And Axe is like, what about me? Because I need to get paid. I need money to live. But it's. I think when you create those characters, like to me, like you're kind of. They go to do signings, or they go to these high schools, like EC3. They're gonna make a huge thing of him. My brother met him. My brother talked with him. He wrestled for my brother knows a promoter, the same guy as Sean Styles. He knows him, Sean Smith, aka Sean Styles, in the ring, sexy Sean Styles. He knows this guy. The guy used to get beat up and bloodied up, but he was actually the promoter. I think he was one of the guys that when you were doing a podcast when you were watching these wrestling things in the indies. The guy was bald, kind of heavy set or out of shape. He had like a dad bod, and he wore jeans, and he always got bloody. That bald guy, he's the promoter, and he had EC3 wrestling at my high school a lot when he was in TNA. So EC3, Ethan Carter, whatever, he really worked on. He worked hard. I mean, he went to WWE. They didn't do it. He's a classic example of somebody like putting time in and working. And you creating people like that, like to me, it's like how could you get mad? He's working hard. He's trying to get known. You're keeping his name out there. Other people are realizing they're going to shows. He's getting. You would think that that's more of like, you know what I mean? I mean, I could see if WCW was around, and they want to get paid, or like Tito Ortiz, but like other wrestlers, you're keeping them around. You're keeping them known. Like even when Shawn Michaels wasn't wrestling for a while, or he was kind of there but he wasn't there, people were making him, and it was keeping him alive. People wanting to, because people could fade away just as easy. You know what I mean?
hmm
And to me, I don't know. I never understood that when people get mad. It's like, dude, they're keeping your name out there. People are like, who is this guy? Then they like you. They see that you're coming. They see, like, who's this guy? Who's this guy EC3? Huh. Fuck him. But if they see him in the game and they're seeing him a lot, then they're like, wow. It puts money in his pocket. Autograph signings, they'll pay $10, $20 for it. That's putting money in his pocket. That's why I never understood when you used to get heat for that. I never understood that. It's like you and the creators are keeping these guys alive. And what I would like to see is people making like really good Bruce Beefcake with the Disciple, was it Boogeyman? Booty Man. And then he was Zodiac and just stuff like that because it's like people forget. And that's why I used to always push you to make you made like Law Resistance. And dude, you made them really good. And man, we had a lot of fun using them guys.
hmm
I mean, it's not like I'm asking for like Coco Beware and King Kong Bundy, but it's I don't know. Like it keeps the wrestlers around.
Yeah.
It keeps it in people's mind fresh. And now, when you started doing, you were always doing ECW. Was it easy for you to make these guys? Was it
No,
always easy?
no. The first time it
Even
was
year after
difficult.
year, the same
No,
guys?
no. The first year is always the most difficult because I'm spending a good portion of time looking for reference logos, looking for tattoos, looking for pictures of faces.
Oh. So
And
it's research.
so
Yeah.
when I first make a person, it's always research that takes time. Um, and then also another thing that sucks is when they start adding tattoos, when they start getting more tattoos or changing their attires. Like I'll say this
Yeah.
for instance, Pentagon Jr. He wrestles in TNA. He was actually a former TNA heavyweight champion from Mexico. Doesn't speak a lick of English, but was a champion. And also in Lucha Underground, I have reference pics for him and for his
Yeah.
tattoos. And he has so many tattoos. I'm actually going to pull up my phone right now. So, for a normal wrestler, let's say Andre Cien Almas, all I need is a picture of his face, picture of his attire, and the logos that's on them. Probably 10, maybe 15 pictures at the most. And doing 15 pictures is overkill to make Andre Cien Almas.
The same pictures or
No, different
to
pictures.
decide what you want to
Side
use?
view of his face, facial hair,
Oh.
attires, ring attire, masks. If I want to make him La Sombra, Pentagon Jr.
Yeah.
I have
I like the Sombra
98
better.
pictures of Pentagon Jr. 98. Kenny Omega,
Wow.
53. Cassius Ono, 22. The NWO, 15. The New Age Outlaws, 15. Buddy Murphy, 21.
Wait, recently?
Yeah, just on my file. On file. If I want to make one.
Wait. Why Buddy Murphy? Why Buddy Murphy?
He's not in the game.
Oh, wait. The other guy is, and he's not.
No, neither one of them are in the game. They took him out.
They released him, right? They don't work that.
No, they do. Buddy Murphy is on 205 Live, and
Really?
the other one is still in NXT. He's in a different tag team. Johnny Mundo, Johnny Nitro, 29. What else?
Huh.
Let me see. I'll give you guys just some insight.
What tag team? What tag team is he in?
It's not good. It's not good. Let's see.
Oh.
Kyle O'Reilly, 15. Kenny King, 15. Justin Credible, 9.
Adam Cole, baby.
Jay Lethal, 27.
Cool.
Hernandez, 42. Huh?
Oh no, Hernandez.
Yep. Glacier, 31. So yeah, I mean, Michael Elgin, 23. EC3, 6. EC3, I only needed 6 pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when a wrestler changes the tires, I always have to update my files with new pictures, and that's what I do every year. And some of them I do, some of them I don't have to. Some of them are easy. Like the Briscoes, they got the same tattoos. They don't really get more tattoos. And they just wear army fatigues. So it's nice and simple. But it's just, just putting in the effort of updating my files, making sure I'm up to date. Every year, I watch their moves. And the issue is, there was this guy on YouTube who would do comp videos.
Compilation.
Yeah. Of wrestlers' moves. So he'll have like Johnny Nitros or Ric Flair's or Sting, the top 50 moves. And he would have them in order. He'll have the name of the moves. And, during each clip, make it real easy to create a person's moveset, right? YouTube banned his first page. He made a second one.
Wow.
They banned the second one. So now what I have to do to be able to keep track of the movesets that I give them, I have to make videos of every single move set for every wrestler that I made.
What?
And it's difficult, but at the same time, it will help me in the future because now I can't get the information from the guy because I don't know if he's going to have a YouTube channel to do that. So we'll see.
If anybody from 2K is listening, can you please when you make movesets, can you put numbers in front of all the moves that you do alphabetically? Because that would actually be easier and have a page where you can, when you look at your moveset, it has all the numbers straight up and down so people can look at a page and copy and say, okay, these are his moves. Oh, I got to change that move. That would actually help a lot.
Well, I would think what would help more is if they put more of those generic movesets, but if they're people movesets, of course. But put more of those
they have to
in
get
the
better.
game. No, they haven't. They actually added less.
No,
SmackDown, no, not
THQ
SmackDown.
was terrible.
Here Comes the Pain and Shut Your Mouth had so many more move sets to choose from because they already had them preset in the game. So you could create somebody and boom, they already had their move set in it. But you know they had the little nickname, so you had to figure out, okay, what does nickname, who does go to? Like Wrestling Machine could have been Kurt
You go to
Angle or
IGN.com. It would
yeah,
tell you how to make a Vampiro and
yeah,
moves. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Face number this, and this.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so now with saying that you're making all these different guys, what is your plan now that everybody is kind of going the computer route and 2K is fine with that? Like, which I find kind of lazy. I mean, they're giving money out to pay these guys.
So
What are you gonna do? Where do
I
you
still
go from here?
draw. I still draw. I still hand draw the logos. I sharpen them up because I feel like if I could easily rip a logo or a picture from online, I could easily take a wrestler's face. But what I do is I take their face,
That's cheating.
Photoshop it, even it out,
Yeah.
copy and paste. So what I mean by copy and paste is I cut the face in half, fix the one half face, and then paste it on the other side. So now it's a perfect representation of the person's face. Then I make it a little bit transparent because I don't want it to be like, if you make it very bold and it just comes out wrong, so I opaque it a little bit, transparent. And then I go around it with the same skin color so it all blends in equally. So it's not a round picture of the face, it's a square picture that blends into the car itself. So that makes the car look better. It's additional work, but with these games now, you have to do it. Tattoo-wise, I go all out. I will get the picture of the tattoos, and what I will do is I will draw over them or just use them as reference and just draw them freehand. Perfect example, Pentagon Jr. He has a dragon on his left arm. And I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I could freehand that. So I freehand the dragon. If like Johnny Nitro or Johnny Mundo, he has certain logos on his pants. Instead of drawing those all over, I sharpen them, and basically it's drawing them over again, but sort of not because I'm using it as like a stencil, as a blueprint, and I'm drawing over it. So I guess you could say it's drawing over, but whatever. The whole point is to make sure everything is very sharp because these games are all HD quality. And they got a lot of work into them. So
I've dealt with you in conversations where like your work is you take severe pride in what you do. Like it's gotta be better. It's gotta be better. You don't understand. Even when you upload videos, it has to be HD. We gotta do this. Like I mean, just trying to do different games and stuff with you. You're very very picky. So it's good quality that you do put out, and people should know that you do care. You're not trying to rush it. But let's note here a little side note that Dre can freehand a dragon, whatever that means. Good on you, buddy.
okay.
Anyway.
So looking at it and just draw, I could just draw it. That's what freehand means. My goodness.
It's just funny what you said. That would make a good T-shirt. Dre 41 freehand dragons. What?
That sounds so inappropriate.
That would be a good T-shirt. We should make T-shirts. We really should. That'd be funny.
Oh goodness.
But anyway, okay, now you're doing all these different wrestlers. Any chance that you might make like you might go into a different direction now that everybody? Because every time you make a guy, I see other people making him, and then you try to make him better. I mean, you did have a conversation saying that you don't know how much longer you could do this for because people are doing it the easy way. Your way is kind of like you're like the last Da Vinci, where it's a lot of work, but you have a real job now where you have to work and you do enjoy your time. And obviously now that you've come upon some extra free time, we're going to be doing more videos. So, and I'm going to hold that against you. So stop saying I'm a woman and that I want to do videos. I want to do podcasts. I want to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, and I'm free Monday through Thursday from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Whenever Lisa's at work, so we can do tons of shit. As far as wrestlers go, since we had that conversation and you said that people are doing it so easily now that it's hard for you to keep up. They're just vomiting up all these wrestlers because they're just copying pasting.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance of you going in a different direction as far as who to create? Because WWE's pretty much got almost everybody
Yes.
like under contract. Okay, give us
Um,
insight of what your ideas are.
New generation. That era.
Huh?
New generation era.
What do you mean?
Um, Early '90s, early to mid '90s, before the Attitude Era. Doing that.
Okay.
Um,
So not to be confused. Wait, we gotta. You say new generation. New
that's what
generation. A
they
lot of people
called it.
think that it's NXT.
What? How could they
Okay.
think that?
Well, I'm just saying because some people who are just briefly listening to this while they're driving in a car, eating a chimichanga, doing something. Basically, they're they'll think that you're talking about NXT guys just up and coming.
Oh
I'm
no.
talking about okay, so you're talking about you're gonna actually kind of do the Monday Night Roars, so everybody who's listening to this podcast will know that you're gonna start doing older type characters. You're gonna go back to like Harlem Heat, maybe, or are you going
Well,
back
new
further?
generation is WWF. Harlem Heat, I could because they still have their attires in the game. But more
Yeah.
like early '90s WWF,
Okay.
WCW.
Really, like Adam Bomb?
I
Really?
can do that. I can do that.
Doom?
It's
So like,
just
if you make Doom, are you gonna make like Butch Reed, the natural Butch Reed, like WWF and WCW
I'm talking. No. See, Butch Reed
before
wasn't
Ted
there in the
Turner Boy, right?
'90s.
He was. Wait, was he early '90s?
No,
Wait,
no, he wasn't.
no.
That was like '80s
Well,
because you
no.
got to remember Ron Simmons was WCW champ in the early '90s. They broke them up before that.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, he beat Vader in
Uh,
Baltimore. What was
so
it?
you're gonna make like a Vinny Vegas and a Diamond Stud?
Yeah, I'm not making anything. Definitely not making a Vinny Vegas.
But so you're gonna make old Steiner brothers then, right?
I could possibly do that. I mean, the thing is they'll be so simplistic. So I just
You pop them
don't.
out fast.
Yeah, but I just want them to stand out. That's the thing. Just making sure that they stand out is the important part. Um,
Yeah, but see, you do good. You do good entrance attires, which is something that 2K has gotten so
some
lazy
of them
about.
don't have that though. Some of them don't have entrance attires, and their attires are very basic. So we'll see what happens. But I'm shooting for that. And actually, we've
Varsity Club.
been
Varsity
recording for
Club.
like over an hour now. How much time?
No, but this is good stuff. This is good stuff. This is
Yeah.
good stuff. Okay, so what I'm saying is now. Okay, so to be clear, you're gonna make from when you're gonna make basically the older wrestlers, like where people are gonna be focusing on newer stuff and they're gonna be like vomiting out the same stuff. You're gonna go kind of Jam 75. You're gonna
No,
start
not
going with some of these
100%.
older ones.
Not 100%. I said some. I'm not going to go 100% old school because there's still some wrestlers that I want to use who are not in WWE. So it's going to be some of those for like every 5 indie guys. I can do 1 or 2 new generation guys. So it's not going to be
Aw.
100% new generation. And I created 2 profiles. So I can pump out 200
Okay.
wrestlers. I'm not saying I will pump
Oh,
out
remember
200
that?
automatically, but I'm definitely gonna see what I can do in 2K19. Whew, it's
Remember
hot.
what we did? Remember how me, you, and Ego would have like a flash drive? We go, okay, we're gonna switch over to our flash drive with our ECW Raw card.
Yep.
Remember that shit?
Mm-hmm.
We had how many wrestlers did we have, dude? Like
So
wow.
many.
And we would flip flop
Because
back
I
and
had
forth.
3 different saves.
Now,
I had an
okay.
inner save, a flash drive, a hard drive, and all
Oh
that.
yeah, you had the arcade system. I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before we wrap this up, you're gonna make those guys. You're gonna make those type of wrestlers. So you're gonna kind of make some indie guys, but they're gonna hopefully be ones that other people don't make, or you think other people are gonna make
I
them, but
don't
you'll
know
make
who's
them
gonna
better. You
make
still
them. I
gonna have
mean,
that competition in you.
I can't say for sure who's going to make them. I can just only plan on doing what I'm doing. Okay, gone are the days where I'm looking at what somebody else makes. I can't do that anymore, mainly because it's just too much time, and to even worry about that is pointless at this point. I feel like everything is even grounds. Whatever pictures I can find or reference pics, other people can find them as well. So we're all even. It's just the talent that we have or the time we have to put into making a person. So it's all even. My thing is just to make somebody I'm interested in making and making sure they come out good. That's it.
any chance of you, if anybody can hit you up who you might know, or maybe even some people crawl out who may be listening to this or any of your podcasts that might crawl out from the woodwork that used to make move sets for you? Would you still go into business with somebody that would you cut your time down in half so that you could do more stuff?
Um, it depends on who, and the person has to want to make those move sets. And early
You have a
'90s
dedicated,
wrestlers
yeah.
didn't really do too much, and they didn't have interesting move sets. So I might have to make like a base move set and just copy paste and just adjust it per person. I mean,
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't really be able to. You wouldn't need anybody then because it was pretty much
yeah. I
really
mean, nobody,
limited
who
as
really did
opposed.
anything crazy in the early '90s? You get a
Yeah.
body slam, suplex. You get a German suplex here and there, a DDT here and there. Nothing too
A
crazy. I
Jermaine?
mean, yeah, a
Jermaine
Germain
suplex?
suplex. Yeah, there we go. The Germain suplex.
We
And
love
that's about
you.
it. But yeah, so
so so that's basically it. You're kind of like, how many more years or whatever do you think that you want to do this for? I mean,
honestly,
I
it's
know it's
gonna
a
be.
passion of yours.
I'll take it year by year. Because
Year by year.
yeah, I mean, if I have more responsibilities as I get older, then I'm gonna have to adjust. But right now, I'm able to pump out work, so that's what I'm gonna do. And when there's a situation where I can't, then I'll say, here, I'm gonna promote somebody else and say, this is the guy. For PlayStation, it's Righty. It automatically. I'm gonna,
Righty.
yeah.
Wait, it's actually named Righty.
No, that's his
Oh,
Righty. That's what he used for Twitter, and I'm guessing that's
oh,
his
Righty. Okay.
PlayStation tag. But for Xbox, it's a couple of people, but it's not one that really bangs out a lot. Like Righty bangs out work on the PlayStation side. On the Xbox
Like you, like
side,
old school. Yeah.
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 For Xbox, honestly, it's 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 still me. It's still me, and don't get me. I follow other creators,
Are you
but
still
as
number one though? Are you still number one, or have you been knocked off? I haven't really gone on it because.
no, how status made Rey Mysterio, and that Rey Mysterio's number one. My Adam Cole was number one for a minute, for a long time, and then Rey Mysterio caught up because he came back to WWE. But this year coming up, since Rey Mysterio is back in WWE, he actually signed a 2-year deal, and he's going to be DLC for this game. Guess he can't make him,
Yeah.
so I guess I'm going to make
Adam Cole's gonna be in it. So you can't make him either.
Kenny
Trust the
Omega.
system.
Kenny Omega is the
Yeah.
IWGP Heavyweight Champion, so that's
How
probably
about
going to
Chris
be my first
Jericho? How about
call.
current Jericho?
If Jericho's
Minus
not in the
the giant
game,
belly.
no, Jericho's actually in shape. He's the New Japan Intercontinental Champion.
Oh wait, I saw him on an interview and he didn't look in shape. He looked
No,
kind of
he's
heavy.
kind of in shape, but he's in New Japan now, so he might not be in 2K19. So I might have to make him. I might have to get ready, and then he doesn't even wear like trunks. He wears like leather pants with kick pads, and he wears like face paint a little
Oh,
bit
cool.
with like lipstick.
Really?
Yeah, with like black lipstick.
So he's
He still has a
yeah. They say they
scarf,
make a lot of money in Japan.
but he has like a little like a hat like Bray Wyatt used to wear, or Bray Wyatt wears. So yeah, he changed up his character. Now he's a heel. Like he's like a Stan Hansen, Vader. He doesn't do their moves, but he's a bad guy in New Japan.
Yeah, they say they make a lot of money down there. You spend like a couple weeks down there and they make a shit ton of money. It's like they don't care. They pay for it. Because what was the old saying? Mexico, it's a religion. Japan, it's a way of life.
I have not the
it's
finest idea,
tradition.
but it is super spicy. I'm boiling right now.
What, in your house right now?
Yeah,
You're boiling? You
and
sweating? I got you
this
sweating.
Xbox is hot too.
Alright.
Woo!
Well, hopefully, people found this entertaining. Because, I mean, we had fun. We had a lot of fun for years.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's been fun being your friend. And, like, I mean, we fought a lot. We argue a lot. And, you're, like I tell people, you're like twin brother from another mother. So, but anyway, no, seriously. And, hopefully, I'm going to bust your balls about making other old school wrestlers. And hopefully you do make them. I mean, any possibility of making Renegade? I mean,
Kiss
like
my
minus
ass.
shotgun. Or like a
Wow.
renegade with a little blood on his face, you know, like make it look like you like killed him. What about zombies? Remember I used to make Zombie Guerrero and Zombie Benoit?
Terrible.
Remember
Terrible
that? Like,
human
you know,
being.
make like that. What?
Terrible.
What? Oh, I call him Deddy Guerrero. That's what I call him, Deddy. Yeah, dude, remember I got so much heat from that shit. You're gonna get banned, man. You're gonna get banned. They're gonna come to your house and kill you. Remember that shit?
Hmm. Terrible.
All right. Well, this was fun. Hopefully, I kind of got off the beaten path a little bit because reminiscing. And I gotta say this before we sign off. Wrestling, the game used to be fun. I'm hoping a lot of people will actually start playing the game and playing it as wrestling, not Street Fighter. They got so many Street Fighter games out there. Go play them. They're really good. They're amazing. The DC Injustice games are amazing. Go buy them and play them. Please leave wrestling the way it was. I mean, we used to have fun. And 2K, please put some money, make dedicated servers. I mean, I know it's all about, give creators a chance, but dedicated servers will actually give creators a greater chance because more people will want to play it. I mean, if NBA 2Ks always have shitty servers, I mean, come on, dude. At least make wrestling that gives you money, that gives you reason to stay alive, and gives you a good product to put out. At least give us good servers, because then maybe some of these creators will shut their pie holes and. Nah, I'm just kidding. But they'll be happier because they can create characters so people will want to play them online. And I don't know what else to say, but it's been fun reminiscing.
Definitely has been.
Cool.
Oh,
I mean, I know you got swamp ass and soup nuts right now, but
God, why did you have to? Why?
What? Oh, come on! You're in a hot room and you ain't got swamp ass and soup nuts. Come on, you're probably just like they're probably like dangling off the chair.
Okay, all right, come on now. Listen. All right, we don't have to record that now. We don't need to hear all that.
No, we do. It's funny. All right. Anyway, I got one last question for you. How's your Dre Blaster doing? Pretty good.
What are you know? All right, thank you guys for watching and listening to this podcast. I'm tired of him. This has been an hour and almost an hour and a half. So yeah, you do the outro. Why am I? This is you. You do. Go ahead.
This is Killerfrost speaking with Dre41. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. It's been a good few years, 9 years almost. And here's to another 9 more years. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Leave your comments under, please. We could do a follow-up, ask some questions, anything as if this was live and you guys are interested in knowing more. And then we could do another podcast where I could ask those questions and he can answer them for you. Hopefully you guys learned a little insight about Dre and how he is. So, and if you want to know more or this or that or any questions or subjects you'd like us to talk about, hit us up. Let us know. Dre?
And else? Just download my wrestlers. Follow me on Twitter at TheRealDre41. Just matter of fact, Google Dre41 Gaming and follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to me on YouTube and just help me become famous. Thank you.